Welcome everyone, Marcelo is my name. It's interesting that as humans, we are very judgmental. There's been multiple studies done in which they've measured the time that it takes for you to look at someone and make a decision. It's actually 1/100th of a millisecond, so less than a second. You see somebody, bop, you've already made the call. In a meeting where you now need to spend time with an individual and I guess get to know them, and also you're discussing a number of different subjects, there's a thing called thin slicing. So we still make that judgment call, especially if we've met them for the first time. But now what happens is that there are other elements that begin to take shape. One is the way they're dressed. The other one is the way that they behave and their demeanor. Years ago, I used to work for a company that sold a premium item. I was responsible for 5-star hotels, speaking to the buyers there, and also premium fine dining restaurants. Now, if you want to find the most judgmental people in the world, it was this group. And that was basically because I was going in selling something that they didn't necessarily want to budget for, or they wanted to find a cheaper option for. So I knew that I needed to suit up. It meant a really nice suit that fit me really well. It meant that I needed to have a beautiful writing instrument. I needed to have a gorgeous watch and also an elegant fragrance. Beautiful smells is something that I've always loved, even as a small child. So selecting the perfect fragrance when I would go to these meetings was actually a thing for me. I discovered in 2017 a thing called niche perfumery, and I doubled down in this area. I discovered the house of Penhaligons very early and was totally enamored in the way they do things. I love the history, 1870, William Penhaligon. I love the way that they are classic English perfumery. And then I love the way that these bottles looked, the very dapper bow ties on the bottles, or even behind me, the collection of the portraits and the way that they look. It was something that I fell in love very quickly. Now, the fragrance of Sartorial is the first one that I want to talk about. And this, as an elegant, as a well put together fragrance, as something that denotes you as someone who knows what they're doing, there's nothing that does it better. There used to be a suit place here in Melbourne called Don Bagnato. They still do suits, but now they sell in department stores. They used to have their own boutique. Melbourneites, the boutique was actually found on the top end of Burke Street. Think of where Florentino is, the restaurant, and then Pellegrini on the corner, actually the very first espresso machine that came to Melbourne. In the middle of that was Don Bagnato's store. And every time I smell this fragrance, Sartorial, I can picture walking in to this actual boutique. For those who never got a chance to walk into Don Bagnato, there's a great film called Kingsman. Don't watch the other ones, just watch the original, the first one. And when Harry walks in with Eggsy into that tailor on Savile Road, that's exactly what this scent profile is. This is what it captures. The dark wood, the very debonair air, the very refined gentleman space, the suits, the way they're all perfectly aligned. This was Don Bagnato. I would walk in and I had a collection of suits from this retailer. Just loved one. I love their service. Anyway, it's a thing of the bygone era. This fragrance here captures all that elegance and romance of that area. There is a nostalgia. There is not that there's a longing, but there is this desire to return to something classy and elegant and refined and gentleman. I love the opening of the fragrance. It has a wonderful barbershop style scent, but it's now not that aromatic sharpness, fougere. It's more the shaving cream, like literally a barbershop, the shaving cream, the talcum powder, the powderiness, the slight aromatic nature of lavender, or like a cold splash of cologne on your face. It wants to capture being on Savile Road and the history associated to that tailoring neighborhood. The smell of the beeswax for the thread, the smell of the needle, the slight honey. Now, interestingly, I get none of that. Now, as a beekeeper, I am very intimate with the smell of honey, the smell of beeswax. But for me, what I actually get here is the Don Bagnato store, or the smell of a fresh jacket put on, and the smell of the actual material itself. For those who've had the chance to smell things or a clean garment that is being steamed, it has those elements to it. For me, the fragrance, where it opens and how it wears, it remains in that wonderful, very refined, very dignified suit that you're wearing. It's actually like wearing, so you're wearing an actual suit on the exterior, but on the interior, through the fragrance, you're also emanating that same sort of debonair and refined scent profile. If you need a fragrance for that quiet confidence, for that self-assurance, Sartorial is a perfect companion. Think of the character Harry from the movie Kingsman. This is, I guess, the embodiment of the fragrance. There's no arrogance about Harry. There's no sort of airs about him. He knows who he is. He knows how to handle himself. He's a gentleman, he's well-spoken, and he's a classy, stoic style of man. This is Sartorial all the way through. It is my fragrance of choice for today. It's one of those fragrances that does allow you that fortification of mind. I'm now probably 2 hours deep, and I'm getting in this space now, that vanilla, slight woody tonka aspect of the fragrance. It does retain that aromatic lavender. It never goes away. Find that the opening, obviously it's a little bit brighter, a bit more power to it, but it goes to that similar place, but now into more of a woody aspect of the fragrance. I get a comfortable 7 to 8 hours without a problem, and I find that its sea edge and projection is in that quiet moderate. Even if I am well suited up, and I have a beautiful three-piece suit that I love wearing, if I am wearing Sartorial, it is still present. People around me are detecting the fragrance. Last year, there were 2 releases within still that sort of debonair and classy, refined sort of fragrance space. There is the Cut, which is a great companion to Sartorial. I'll come back to that. But also Daphne's Bouquet. Now, I bought this as a him and hers style, even though I don't believe in a him and hers approach, but I wanted to buy a fragrance for my wife, and I know that I needed another fragrance, being that this is a companion to Sartorial. Now, Daphne's Bouquet, ladies, is a gorgeous new addition that you can enjoy. However, boys, don't walk away from me, because I have a secret. Smell that. Gorgeous. So firstly, ladies, I did buy this for Sandra. She has adopted this as one of her favorite fragrances of late. If you look at this particular production, I did name it as one of the 12 in my pick for 2025. It is on high repeat in my home. The fragrance captures the floral bouquet of a Daphne flower. It's all about celebrating the high grove garden, and in this case here, the Daphne flower. An the floral, to quickly grab, what does the Daphne scent profile have? It has a touch of greenness, but it also has an element of the white floral, but slight orange blossom. It never goes into these deep sort of like indolic white floral or a orange blossom that is also juicy and citrus-like. It always sort of walks a very delicate line, always having green as its companion moving through. The opening of the fragrance, super inviting. There is a slight feminine touch to it, but again, that greenness, and again, boys, I'll come back to you, that greenness brings it back, so it doesn't go into a very high feminine place. I find that the evolution here is very clear with Daphne's Bouquet. It opens up with a spring-like floral bouquet. The best way I can describe this is, think of a glorious spring morning where the sun, it's equal part warm but also fresh. There's a freshness in the air. The plants, the vegetation, the flowers are all beginning to feel this too, and they're just emanating this beautiful scent profile. So there's a combination of moisture but also the florals and the sunshine. This is the opening. The way that this has been captured, that beautiful scent bouquet, that spring bouquet, is divine. It does move to like a fruity green place. It lends itself with elements of this cassis note and finally settles to a wonderful mossy green floral bouquet. The fragrance is divine from start through it as it moves, and then in its dry down. My wife, as I mentioned, has adopted it as her own, and when I smell the scent profile, I can instantly see her. She uses this fragrance as her dressed up fragrance to go out somewhere, or even dressed down. Sometimes I come into the house when she has gone out for the day. I can smell this wonderful floral of Daphne's Bouquet in the air. Recently, I thought to myself, some of the scent profiles here, I think I can adopt. I've said many times, gentlemen, a beautiful floral fragrance on a man works so well. And here, it doesn't go into any sort of heavy floral, light-headed feminine territory. Those green, those mossy notes that I can detect on the dry down. I think this could work quite well. Well, I've been wearing it. Unbeknownst to my wife, one evening we were walking together out in the street. I had now been wearing it for 5 hours. I only spray in 3 places, my solar plex, my stomach, and my arm. And throughout this walk, she asked me a couple of times. She said to me, "What are you wearing? Is that Daphne's Bouquet?" And I'm like, "Yes, I'm testing it out, seeing how it works." I'd done more than testing. I'd now been spraying it quite regularly. "What do you think?" She's like, "It smells really good on you. It actually smells different." Now, one thing that I need to point out, I do have perfect perfume skin. I find that my skin, I know it sounds very arrogant, but facts are facts, baby. I find that my skin, my musk, I guess, translates perfume in its own unique way. Her comment was, "That smells so different on you than it does on me." She came up, smelled it. By that stage, as I said, it was 5 to 6 hours deep. She's like, "Oh, I can get your musk, but the sillage and the way that it plays in the air is divine." Now, we had then kept walking, and again, she's like, "I cannot believe that's Daphne's Bouquet." I asked her, "Does it work for me?" Her response is 100% yes. There's nothing in here that is overtly feminine. So those florals don't go into, as I mentioned, jasmine, that really white floral indolic, or even those orange blossom. It doesn't get too lightheaded and fruity. It is a perfect fragrance for a man to wear. But again, from its name, I do believe that it was designed as a fragrance for a woman. So comfortably, women, you can enjoy this, but boys, this is something that buy it for your wife and then steal it for yourself. You're gonna get a comfortable, for me, 7+ hours. And I'm gonna say I get even like 12 to 14. I'll wake up, I can smell Daphne's Bouquet on me. Sandra gets about 5 to 6 hours that I can smell it cleanly in the air. And when it comes to its sillage and projection, it does fall into that very confident moderate. You can detect it quite beautifully in the air. The last inclusion for the boys, and let me just say, girls, this one you can also wear. There are elements in here that could play comfortably on a woman. And this is the cut. As I mentioned, when Sartorial was first released, it was about celebrating Savile Road, the tailors. It was about the tailor's workshop, essentially. Now, the cut is more aligned to a garment already made, something that is fitting perfectly on you. There is a little bit more of an energetic and vibrancy from this particular fragrance versus Sartorial, which can be more of a cooler weather, a little bit more serious, a little bit more gentleman's. Whereas now the cut is, I guess, embracing our current times where a nice jacket is more than sufficient. You don't have to have a full shirt and tie to look debonair. Having said that though, I do miss those days. I do love dressing up in that fashion. The cut has, similar to Sartorial, where it states notes of honey and of beeswax and things of that nature. It states notes of peppermint and basil and clary sage. I don't get those. I get instead a sweet bouquet of herbal notes on that opening. There's nothing in there to my nose that I can clearly say it's, it's mint or it's a clary sage that's coming through. I do get a combination of these herbal elements. It is a fougere. There is a beautiful aromatic nature to it. There is a cleanness also. I also love the fact that it does try to embrace the fabric again. So similar to Sartorial, where you're getting a very clean linen, wool sort of garment sort of scent, here it's a lot more breezy. It's almost like you've grabbed your jacket and as you're flicking it on, cool man style, you're getting the breeze and everything else along with the garment coming through. It's a lot more energetic. It's a lot more youthful. It's a lot more vibrant. It's a fragrance that I like to either dress up or dress down. So it's one that I can comfortably wear with a suit, and I have worn it with a shirt and tie and things of that nature. And then I've also worn it just with a t-shirt and jeans, and it works in both instances without a problem. I am fortunate that in my family, we are deeply in love with perfume. So you have people who are perfume lovers, and then you have my family, and they're all enamored when it comes to beautiful smell. I had these lined up in my home on the counter. My son came in, saw the cut. The design of the bottle is very classy. He sprayed it. Moments later, his wife walked past him and said, "Whoa, that's one that you need to buy. Which one did you spray?" Because there was, again, a collection of these fragrances there. It was one that it's an instant love. As the fragrance migrates, it does go to a conifer woods. Close to us, we have a beautiful park and it has an avenue of cypress trees. I love picking the needles off the tree. And as you crush that, and the scent profile that it produces is an equal part of that sort of fresh pine sort of scent profile to it, but mixed in with this lemony sort of zest that's in there. And then there is like a woodiness. It's actually super complex. If you ever get the chance, pick these needles, crush them, you know, give them a really, get all those oils out, and the scent that they provided is absolutely divine. And this is what I get from the cut. I get this a blend of that conifer, the cypress, the aromatic nature of those pine needles. This is a wonderful fragrance that you can take for the day. 6+ hours is what I get from it. And its sea edge and projection does fall into that more moderate sort of category. I find that if I am suited up quite heavily, the fragrance is present. Whereas if I'm a little bit light on, like I am today, just a t-shirt and a jacket, then it has more presence coming through. Keeping to my theme of Kingsman, Sartorial is definitely Harry, and Exy, when he comes out fully suited up, is definitely the cut. Both of these are fantastic fragrances for a gentleman to wear. Quiet confidence. Ladies, Daphne's Bouquet, obviously, but also the cut has certain elements in there that can be comfortable on a woman to wear. What are your thoughts? Are you aware of these fragrances? How are you finding them? I do find that Penhaligons has a knack for discontinuing fragrances from their line. I have noticed recently that Sartorial is more and more out of stock. If you get a chance to go out and test it, if you get a chance to actually own it, I would strongly recommend. One fragrance that I'm sad is no longer on the market is this beautiful fragrance here. This is brilliantly British, and from its box with the actual vehicle on the front with the Union Jack, and then the bottle itself with its very big bow tie. This is a gorgeous, very, very aromatic lavender caramel fragrance. I have spoken about it before. I'm sad that it's no longer available, but happy that I have a bottle. I don't want you guys to be sad. If you want to test out Sartorial, see what this is like, because my gut is saying that maybe they're transitioning away from Sartorial into the cut. So just a bit of a heads up there. Thank you, everyone. I look forward to your comments. We'll see you guys all on the next episode.